Hey there, and hope you're having a wonderful day. Grateful to be back with you today. And as always, I'm always seeking to keep all of you up to date on the latest and greatest when it does come to LinkedIn. And today's episode is all about some LinkedIn updates. Now, these are done and rolled out all throughout every single month. There's no dedicated time, but these are three that I have heard about and noticed myself. So I wanted to obviously bring that to all of your attention. So, again, if you're listening to this on the podcast, whether it's Spotify or Apple Podcast or another source, please don't forget to subscribe to the podcast. But also, please continue to support the podcast by leaving a rating and review, but even letting me know what you would like to hear more of and more about. And again, for anyone that's watching or listening, if you're watching on social, whether it be Facebook or LinkedIn, you can comment below the word scorecard. And or if you're watching on YouTube, you can also comment the word scorecard. But if you're listening on the podcast, you can also email me, scott@scottaaron.net, or on Instagram @scottaaronlinkedin, and just type the word scorecard, and I will send you the link to take my free LinkedIn scorecard assessment, which basically will go over the things that maybe you need to do more of, the things that you're maybe lacking when it comes to your LinkedIn strategy. That's exactly why I created it. So again, all you have to do is either type the word scorecard in the chat if you're on social. If you're watching on YouTube, leave that in the chat as well. But also, if you're listening on the podcast, you can email scott@scottaaron.net or DM me on Instagram @scottaaronlinkedin, the word scorecard, and I will send you that link to take it. Now, so there's three updates. I would say one is in relation to a company page, if you have one. Another is, I would say, a more interactive feature for community. And the third is more directed towards content creators to increase engagement. And that's, again, specific to content that you're posting on LinkedIn. Now, the first new feature is something called um, the RSS feed attached to company pages. Now, this is being slowly rolled out. I have around 5 or 6 company pages. My most prominent one is my Scott Aaron lead gen company page. There's close to 800 followers on that company page. It's grown pretty organically. And I noticed one day when I went on there just to kind of check some engagement that I was given the ability to add an RSS feed to the company page. Now, for those that don't know what an RSS feed is, it comes in different forms, but an RSS feed stands for really simple syndication or rich site summary. So it's a web feed that allows users to access automatic updates from websites or content. So what that means is RSS feeds are typically linked to two specific types of content. One, blog posts from a website, or two, a podcast. So, as many of you know, I've had a podcast for nearly 5 years now. It's called Networking and Marketing Made Simple. So, I wanted to figure out a way or have a direct way of every time my podcast goes live on Apple or Spotify, uh, which is the hosting platform for my podcast, you can connect your LinkedIn company page to it where it will create and craft a post for you. Now, for those that didn't know this, there's a couple things. It's being slowly rolled out. So not everyone has access to this. But if you did want to check if you did have access to this, all you have to do is, number one, you're going to go to, let me find it really quickly. So you're going to go to your company page. So this one that I'm talking specifically about is the Scott Aaron Lead Generation Strategist page, 792 followers. If you scroll to the bottom of your page, on the left-hand side, you're going to see where it says settings. And if you click on that, it's going to take you to a couple different things. Now, if you don't see this one, it hasn't been activated on your account just yet. It could relate to the amount of followers your page does not have, but you'll see manage admins, manage restricted members, manage your following, inbox settings, job posting, deactivate page. Now, the one that's new is where it says manage content sharing. Add your external content source or make changes to your current sources. So you click on that and you can see right here, I have my company podcast. So when I click the edit button, basically the title is company podcast. You can select the category. So you can put a YouTube channel, you can put a company blog, YouTube, Medium, or other. And then obviously you put your RSS feed in there. So basically what happens is when that RSS feed is added, it's going every time that you release an episode. So anytime that you release an episode, it's going to actually give you a notification and it's going to say, hey, here's your latest podcast episode. Do you want to post about it? And it's a great way to generate additional content, but it's also a great way to drive people to listen to your podcast. So that's a beautiful thing that if you have access to it, take full advantage of it. It's a great way to share your content. It's a great way to grow your podcast or grow your blog. So now you can take people from your LinkedIn company page and redirect them to wherever it is that you want to take them, whether that's your blog or whether that's your podcast. So that is the first update. The second is more of, I would say, the interactive community feature. And some of you may have seen this. And there is a new games feature on the mobile app and the desktop. So on the mobile app, if you were to just open up the mobile app and you go to the home page, at the very bottom, you'll see a little puzzle piece and it just says games. And if you click on it, it will take you to all the different games that people have and are currently playing on LinkedIn. It's almost like what they did with Facebook to create more of an interactive community building type of thing through fun activities like games. But if you were more interested in seeing it on the desktop, all you have to do is log on to LinkedIn. And when you get onto LinkedIn, what you're going to do is you're going to go to the homepage of LinkedIn. So you're going to go basically to the homepage of LinkedIn. And when you go to the homepage, click on My Network. And when you go to My Network, it's going to show you Grow and Catch Up. Some of you have that, some of you don't. But click on Catch Up. And what you're going to see is right at the top, LinkedIn is going to show you some people that have job changes and birthdays and work anniversaries, education and such. But if you basically, in between that, they're going to have something that says stay in touch through daily games, prep your mind for the workday, and compare results. So basically, it's got a game called Pinpoint. There's Queens, Cross Climb, and you can see more. And it basically will show you, 11 connections have played that today. 9 connections have played that today. 9 connections played this one. So it's a way for you to stay engaged and obviously compete in a very friendly fashion. For me, I am not into the games thing, but if that's something that you would like to do to kind of prep your mind for the day, then you obviously can dive right into that. So again, you can find that on the mobile app. Just at the very bottom, there's a little puzzle piece that says games. Or if you go on the desktop version, all you have to do is go to My Network, click on Catch Up instead of Grow, and you'll see it right at the top, stay in touch through daily games. Click on it, and then you can obviously participate in any of the games that LinkedIn is talking about. So that's the second update. Third and final, this has to do more around engagement and increasing engagement through some of the creator tools on LinkedIn. So this is for LinkedIn newsletters. So if you currently have a LinkedIn newsletter, you're going to want to pay attention to this. Now, when someone opens up the new LinkedIn edition that you have written, typically they have to read through it and they have to go to the very bottom and then hit like, comment, share, this, that, or the other. Now, LinkedIn has made it more interactive more recently in the sense of they want to create more, I would say, collaboration. They want to create more engagement, and they want to create more of a way for people to engage in someone's content. Now, what they did was, instead of having the comment box at the very bottom of the newsletter edition, which it used to have, LinkedIn has moved that recently. So when someone goes and reads your LinkedIn newsletter, you're going to see on the right-hand side a whole separate content and engagement feed where the person can basically read, the creator of the LinkedIn newsletter can read exactly what people are celebrating, commenting, sharing. So there's a whole comment feed on the right-hand side where, again, that's a great way for people to create connection, but also increase engagement. So instead of having to scroll all the way to the bottom, they actually moved where people can engage to its own separate little scrolling feed on the right-hand side. I love this feature. I think from also an imagery standpoint. So I really encourage all of you that are listening to this to go on to your LinkedIn newsletter or click on a LinkedIn newsletter and just look at it more from an aesthetic point of view. It's more visually pleasing because, you have the thumbnail to what the newsletter is all about. You have your title, but people can actually, as they read it, the comments, the engagement section on the right stays there. So people can actually engage all throughout without having to go through the bottom. So if there's something in particular that person really is enjoying or really is engaging with, they can do it right then and there. So that's the third, and I would say most important updated feature, is that they're making that specific feature of LinkedIn newsletters more community based, more engagement based, and more visibility based. So it is going to drive, I would say, more eyeballs to what you're doing, but it's also going to further more comments, more replied comments, which is obviously going to feed more visibility, because the more people that engage, the more people will see that content. So again, the three things that you want to check out: the new RSS feed attached to company pages. So if you have a podcast, if you have a company blog, you can attach that company blog or podcast right to your company page to create content. So as soon as that blog goes out, as soon as that podcast goes out, it connects right to the company page and you can create your post that way. The second thing is the game feature on the mobile app and the desktop. If you want to create more engagement in that way, you can, more community-based, but also working on that mind, getting you ready for the week. And the third and final thing is the comment box for the LinkedIn newsletters was moved to the right-hand side, not on the bottom, to create more engagement and visibility. So I hope you enjoyed today's training and all the latest updates on LinkedIn. Love and gratitude, and I'll talk to you next time.